Welcome back to my writing channel. My name is Josie and I am so happy to be starting this day with a cup of tea with milk. I don't think this has happened any day in the last couple of months on this bike trip, and it feels so nice to be able to drink just plain black tea with milk. So good. Okay, so we don't have a lot of time though because we need to hit the road soon. It is currently just before 7. The sun is starting to rise. These days, the sun sets pretty early too. So it sets, I think, around 4:45. Things really start to get darker maybe around 5, which means if we hit the road by 8, that gives us 9 hours of daylight, which sounds like a lot, but it goes by so fast. And we spend most of that biking. And in fact, it's kind of been a little frustrating because I was really hoping that by the time we reach kind of like the end part of this trip, we would be just stacking up the kilometers, getting really long distances, pushing further than we've ever pushed. But it honestly feels like we have decreased our distance quite a bit, and we have. But that is because Italy, there's a lot of this in Italy. And I'm not talking like big mountains you have to go over, at least the direction we're going, but it's just every single hill. Like there's just like, it takes you, half an hour to get up and then you get back down again, like right after. So there's no flat, or there's very, very little flat. Because there's so much elevation gain, we've been doing about, I think, like 1,500 meters every day. We have not been able to get as far as we wanted to. And we would be able to bike farther, except for the fact that we run out of daylight. Today, we're hoping to hit the road by 8 a.m. And as well, today, we do have 2 exciting stops planned. So I don't know that we'll be able to get more than like 70 or 80 kilometers in. That being said, while I'm enjoying my cup of tea, we are not going to have time to write this morning. I haven't actually been doing too much writing the last couple of days because I just feel like there's so much going on. I end up feeling so tired. We're also approaching the end of the trip, and I've been thinking a lot about post-trip writing, which we'll talk about throughout the day. And I'm getting really excited for that. So it's not really bumming me out too much. But this trip has been really, really good for me in a lot of other ways, such as world building. Like, I cannot tell you how many ideas have been sparked by visiting all the different cities, seeing all the different ways of living, not only present day living, but also seeing like more historical ruins or more historical monuments. And I have so many ideas. I haven't even written them all down because I had this thought of, I kind of want to sieve through the better ideas. I think Stephen King had a quote at some point where he was like, ideas are cheap, and he doesn't write down ideas because he lets the good ones stick around and kind of come to the surface over time instead of writing them all down and trying to use them all. And I think I want to do something similar because I feel like whenever I get like an interesting idea based off of like, what's around me on this trip, I'm immediately like, oh, I have to shoehorn this in. But I don't want to force something to be in my story that doesn't have like a good place there. So the plan is they're in my head, and when I get home at the end of this trip, because we really only have, I think, 5 days of biking left, as well as a couple days of like seeing Florence and then seeing Venice. But I really want to see what sticks around and what kind of makes it through. I may lose some good ideas by doing it this way, but I think that I'm also sifting through a lot of mess by doing it this way as well. But I've done enough chatting. I need to start getting ready. We have everything just strewn everywhere in the room around us. So I will finish my tea and I will eat breakfast because we don't have to go get breakfast this morning. It's really great. This room, we were provided with a bunch of different breakfast items that we can eat. So these are all of the goodies that we were given. So there's like literally pancakes, and I had one of these last night actually. I've been snacking on these just because I'm so hungry these days, always. So there's this, I might eat that this morning. Different crackers, I guess like a croissant, this like toasted bread. And then I also grabbed from outside, they have like a fridge, they also had some yogurt and then some fresh fruit. So some accumulation of this is what we're gonna eat this morning. When I decided I wanted to do another day in my life video, the one thing that was making me doubt whether it was a good idea was because we have I think every single time had a flat. And we haven't had a flat since the last video I made, which was like a week ago. And I was like, I don't want to jinx anything. Maybe I shouldn't even say anything in the video about it. But then as we were pulling our bikes out, lo and behold. So Jonah, where's this hole?
What's this?
Oh, what is that?
I don't know.
Well, good thing we've got a spare tube for you. In case you were wondering, the secret was soapy water. Now look at all that. Yes. Here it is right there. You can tell because it just starts to, you see that? It's like the hole's right there. It just starts to bubble with soapy water. I can start patching that if you want to put the new tube in. Okay. I'm just waiting for the vulcanizing fluid to dry, and then I'm gonna put one of these guys on. Oh, I swear, we only get flats either in Spain or when I make a video. I mean, hopefully this means that our flat will be done for the day and we won't have to worry about it. I don't know. I don't want to jinx it and get, we're not even going to talk about it. But this definitely means we are going to be starting the day a little bit later than anticipated, which is fine. You know, it is what it is. Still excited for the day ahead. At least it's nice. It's actually not too chilly this morning. Previous days I wear my fleece in the morning, but now I'm just wearing my sun hoodie and it feels good. So sun shining, blue sky behind me you can see. So not too much to worry about. I'm definitely good at patching now. If you need your bike patched, or your bike tubes patched, let me know. We're only about 45 minutes behind schedule. I mean, there's a really set schedule, but yeah, tires looking good. You may be thinking to yourself, what a beautiful downhill. It is so amazing. The colors are beautiful. The sky is beautiful. But what you don't know is every downhill comes with an equally steep uphill. Oh no, okay, it's getting steeper after, but actually spectacular. What even? Look at this. Look at this Italian countryside. Wow, I'll climb any hill for this kind of a view. Right, Jonah? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, here it comes. We're gonna have to switch to some easier gears for this because somehow the Italians always want to put their villages on the very top of every hill they possibly can. Top. Oh, and I'm so warm, but look at the view. So nice. But that's only one of many hills today, so can't get too comfortable. So I'm probably gonna drink some water before we keep going. Now we go back down. I'm regretting taking off my sun hoodie just a little bit because it's cold, but I'm gonna like having it off for the next climb again, so it's all good. See, we're already going back up again. And if you can hear that squeaking, I don't know if you can, that's my left pedal, which I don't know, there's just something wrong with it. Happened a couple days ago, but we're in the final stretch, so I'm just gonna pretend I don't hear it, even though it is so loud. Time for some downhill, and we're on gravel. We are still on gravel. My bike is still squeaky, but now it's uphill time. And now we're going back downhill. So we are doing our first stop of the day. We actually haven't gone very far, but I'm starting to get hungry, so I need some food. I don't think a lot of those little things at the hostel, while tasted good, they weren't really super filling. So the plan is to just eat the last of our bread from yesterday, the last of our cheese, the last of our meat, and continue on. Because we still have like 30 or 35 kilometers until we reach our big fun adventure stopping point for the day that I won't spoil quite yet, but it's really nice because we are at this like picnic table area. There's also a water fountain, so before we leave from this break we're gonna have to drink a bunch of water and fill back up. because all this infrastructure is in place because we are currently following the Via Francigena, which is a pilgrim route to go towards Rome. And we are actually going the opposite direction. We started in Rome, so we're doing it backwards. And we've actually seen some hikers who I'm presuming are going there because they're wearing like big backpacks. So I don't know if they're doing specific sections or going the whole way. I don't know where they started from. But it's really cool. It's really cool. So yeah, we're gonna eat because I'm hungry and more hills to come. Hello, little sheeps. Came from all the way down there. How you feeling, Jonah? We have just arrived at the top of a massive hill in yet another small village. In the last 30 kilometers, we have done almost 1,000 meters of elevation with like a little bit of downhills and stuff. So, you know, we're probably at what, 800 now. But we still have like another 150 meters of elevation to get to our fun, relaxing destination, midday destination. Not so midday anymore, it's 12:30. And I think 12 more kilometers, so it's probably like another hour of biking. So we stopped and went to like this little bodega marketplace to get some food for lunch. It's mostly just snacks like chips and candy and juice. But it's hopefully enough to get us through today to this location. But I feel like I'm struggling to motivate myself to keep moving. Like I just want to sit here and just like doom scroll on my phone, just keep checking like social media and whatever. Just because like even though I know I could just be on the bike and just keep biking forever, like it's just so nice to just sit here and it's so beautiful and peaceful. But there'll be plenty of time to sit around tonight too, wherever we end up camping. But something that I've been trying to do, because I thought that I could try and make my doom scrolling time into writing time. And back home I can do it, but here, like I feel like my brain just really feels like burnt out sometimes, and I just need to do something mindless, and writing is not mindless for me. So I've been trying to force myself to do writing instead of going on my phone to do whatever, and it just hasn't been working. So, a little while back, I started to get back into reading. I've been downloading books on my phone, like longer fantasy books, which has been really nice to kind of like read some stuff in that genre. Because I feel like since I've been trying to write this epic fantasy book, I haven't actually like read in the genre, so it's helping like motivate me to do some more writing. But at the same time, I'm getting so engrossed by these books that all I want to do is read them, and I don't actually end up getting to any writing. But as well, like I'm kind of giving myself a little bit of leniency at this point. Like at the beginning of the trip, I was a lot more strict about trying to make writing part of my routine, trying to get it done, trying to make it happen. But at this point, like we have, a week left. And I know that when I get home, I'm going to want to do a lot of writing. So I'm trying to let myself just take the break I need to. I did do some writing last night actually, but I'm no longer like sticking to it as much, and I'm trying to just do whatever it takes to kind of get through, a little bit like my bike. We're no longer trying to be sustainable and consistent. We're just doing whatever it takes to get to the end, like still enjoying ourselves obviously, but you know, there's a little bit more of an element of like things can kind of fall apart a little bit, and I'll pick it all back up when we finally get home. I've actually been thinking a lot about writing at home too, because I've been writing my first drafts for my books in November every year, like doing the 50,000 word challenge in November in 30 days. But I've missed the whole month. I knew there was absolutely no chance of me trying to get that many words written while on this bike trip. But I do miss it. It's almost like a writing holiday that I've had for myself for the last like 5 years in a row, I think. And because of that, I've been starting to debate whether or not I should do a 50,000 word writing challenge for myself in December. I just like the idea of like spending a month not doing much of anything except just hiding in a room, drinking tea, and blocking out the world, and not having to bike, and not having to move, and not having to think about where I'm going to sleep at night. So, yeah, I'm still brainstorming exactly how I want to do it, because there's 31 days in December, so Do I do 50,000 words in 31 days? Do I take off the first or the last day? I mean, there's a lot of holiday days in December, so I might not write during those, but anyways, these are still percolating ideas. This downhill has had a crazy view. And horses! We are closing in on this special location we're visiting. We have maybe like 2 kilometers left. We're doing more uphill, which is fine. It's not as steep as before. And I was debating telling you what it is, but I think instead I'm just gonna show you. That was awesome. Everything we wanted, right, Jonah? Oh yeah. We're just getting our stuff back on, and then we gotta keep biking because the day is not done. It is about 3 p.m. So we have 2 hours before dark. So the first thing we have to do is start biking. Then we gotta figure out where we're thinking about ending because we're wild camping tonight. So it means that we're not camping in like a designated spot. So we're gonna look for like a forested area or something. We'll see what we get. And then we also need to be able to stop and get food for dinner at some point. So maybe looking for like a grocery store of some kind. We should be passing through like a town or two. So I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, but we are tight on time like usual with the sunlight. I think there's a lot of long, steady downhill in our future, which is pretty awesome. Before we can find a campsite for the night, we're hitting a grocery store and we're about 11 kilometers away from one. But because it's up a big hill, we are anticipated to arrive right at sunset. So we're gonna have to move pretty quickly and yeah, this is gonna be a fun adventure. We're starting to get close enough, which means we could always backtrack to this area. So there's a river that's right there. I don't know if you can see all those trees in that line. So if there's a way to get down to there, I think it goes actually into that valley over there. So potentially we could go up there and try and find a spot in the woods. But I'll have to look at the satellite map maybe while Jonah's in the grocery store. And we might see something else on the way there that we like better. Jonah's gone into the grocery store to get us food for tonight while I am checking using the map on his phone and satellite image where we could possibly stay. We saw 2 spots off the side of the road kind of near-ish to town that we could check out, but otherwise the best option seems to be going down towards that valley I was talking about. So yeah, we'll see. We'll try those 2 spots first, I think, and then if they're no good, we'll just keep going. Eventually, you always find something. We're throwing caution to the wind a little bit. It is past 5, so the sun is set. And instead of backtracking, we're continuing forward about 3 kilometers because I saw a spot that might work. There's like a little bit of a forest with a little path off from the road to get there. So I'm feeling kind of hopeful. There's not really any buildings nearby, which is nice. I really don't ever want to stay near someone's house, so we'll see. What do you think, Jonah? Have we found our place for the night?
Yeah, I think so. I don't have the exact spot. There's a couple options.
Yeah, but we're just like, there's this little like frontage road right here. The highway is just on the other side of these bushes, and we're just gonna head down into there. It looks kind of thorny, but we're gonna make it work. We are currently debating, I don't know if you can even see it so dark, this spot right here, because it's further down the hill, so it's a little bit quieter. There is a farmer's field right there, but I don't really know that there'll be anyone out like before 7 o'clock before we leave. And then as well, like we're a little bit tucked into the trees, and they also have a river that passes right here, like between right there. So it's not like we're right beside their property. So I think it's pretty good. I like it. Yeah? You're into it? Let's do it. We are all set up. We made it. All of our tent stuff. That's our big bag of food we gotta eat. So we are going to eat food, a lot of food. Maybe we'll throw up a movie on my tablet because a lot of times we'll watch that as we what are you doing? We'll watch that as we eat. So that's the plan for now. I just feel so lucky that we found this spot because there was not really any other options if this didn't work out. Like we kind of just like went for bust with this where like, and it was a little freaky because there's the little turnout where we were gonna, you know, deviate from the road. There was a car pulled over with their lights on, and I was like, shoot, does this mean we have to keep going? But Jonah just veered off and did it anyways, and I don't even know if that guy noticed because at the end of the day, I feel like it's always like you think people are watching you, you think people are noticing you, but everyone's in their own world. So I don't even know if that car even noticed we were there, to be honest, and we were gone like 2 seconds later. So anyways, time to eat. Movie's done, dinner's done, and I also wrote in my journal about our day's adventure. So there is literally nothing else to do tonight. It is, I think, just past 8:30, so we are 13 and a half hours past where we started the video this morning. It has been a big day. I'm getting a little tired, but I have enough energy, so tonight we are going to do a little bit more writing before I go to sleep, which is exciting. And, you know, I'm trying not to overthink it because I've been kind of struggling with this section right now that I'm revising, but we're just gonna tackle a little bit. I don't need to get a lot done. We just need to get into it and have some fun in the story, and that's the only goal for tonight. I think overall I'm really happy that I decided to try writing on this trip because like what's the alternative? I like don't try at all, and I always wonder like what would it have been like? I don't think I've been exceptionally successful. I feel like I've been working on it kind of consistently, sometimes falling off a little bit. But I will say, because we're going to be honest here, I don't think the quality of the writing that I've been doing is quite up to par. But I don't know really what I expected, you know, giving up a full day of like hard biking and then hoping to write my story at night. Like I've been enjoying it, and I think that's the main thing, but there'll definitely have to be some heavy reworking when I get home. So I think the conclusion is that I would not plan a bike trip as a writing retreat. I mean, who would? But, you know, if I'm here anyways, I'm more than happy that I gave it a shot. I tried my best. And I'm really looking forward to being able to go home and write in a comfortable situation with my laptop, with some hot tea, and really get lost in the story, because the one thing that this trip has really given me that I honestly didn't even really expect was just so many more world building ideas, character ideas, and I can't wait to implement them all because I think at a certain point I've been world building and brainstorming this story for such a long time, and I have so much planned, right? Like I have multiple books planned, and I know what's going to happen for, you know, quite a bit of the story, but at some point I just need to write this thing. You know, at this point only like 24,000 words exist, and there's going to be a lot more words to come to get everything that I have in my head on paper so other people can experience the story too. And I'm really just excited to kind of get down and dirty and actually do the hard work to get it done and stop kind of like floating in the clouds of imagining and, you know, fantasizing about it. So without further ado, we're going to get a little bit of writing done tonight with the only purpose and goal of it is just to have some fun.